What is going on, guys? It's your boy XQ420 here. Welcome y'all back. Another episode of Showtime with the Cube. As always, I've got the powerful one with me, the co-host extraordinaire, Corey Hughes. Corey, tonight, are you doing well?
Yeah, I'm good. Things are good. I'm better than this movie was.
Corey may have a few strong feelings about this particular movie. I think I have some strong feelings as well. If this is the first time y'all checking us out on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, listen to us on podcast platforms, hit the follow button there. Appreciate everybody's been checking us out so far. So today, we are covering the most recent installation into the DC Past universe, which may be included in the new universe.
Who the hell knows? Who cares?
Yeah, I mean... Well, somebody cares, okay? Somebody cares. Somebody's sending these people money, so somebody cares, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do know. Somebody out there, but what we're talking about today is Blue Beetle. It actually came out about 3-4 months ago, all right? And it didn't do well in theaters, all right? It didn't do well at all. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and let's talk about how much money it made in its theatrical run. Let's see, box office money. Let's see what the box office. In the U.S., it made $129.3 million. Okay.
What was the cost of making this? It doesn't sound horrible. I mean, it's bad.
No. Hold, I'm sorry. That's not right. That's not right. It made U.S. and Canada made $71.2 million, but then worldwide it made $129.3.
Oh, that's pretty bad. Yeah.
So that's that's absolutely horrendous, actually. Like that's
bad. That's real bad.
That's terrible around the board. I mean, it's pretty.
So, this movie is just a movie out of time. Honestly, like, you want to talk about a movie that empowers Hispanics? Like, let's talk Scarface. Okay, they did that like in the 70s, right? So like. That gave the Hispanic community more pride than this movie ever fucking will. And so yeah, that's my take on it. I don't understand the relentless pandering to identity politics is all over this thing, but then they go ahead and they fall back on stereotypes. It's just like it's like She-Hulk syndrome, right? It's about female empowerment, but then they twerk, right? Like, fuck off. It's the exact same. Yeah. It's the exact same thing, right? It's like we're Hispanics and we're empowered, but now we're gonna fucking show up in our bouncing car and our loud stereo with 20 members of our family. Like, they just enforced these old stereotypes. It was ridiculous. It was over the top stupid. Like, these people don't know how to fight for a cause. Jesus Christ.
Corey, look, man. I mean, they did the best they could with what they had available, okay? Is this the first? I think they were saying this was the first Mexican superhero. Is that correct? Latino descent?
I'm sure that is not correct.
It's not? Okay. Why do I believe that that's what they were saying? Let me see some. First Latino superhero. First Latino superhero movie. Let's see what we got. Blue Beetle. It says Blue Beetle was the first Latino superhero movie. The Latino is the superhero. Yeah, first Latino superhero to get his own movie.
No, I'm having trouble with the definition of Latino here.
It's Mexican, man. I mean,
have we not had a Mexican superhero? Hang on.
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, I really don't. I don't think so. I mean, we can't count like the people who wrestle as superheroes, like Rey Mysterio and shit. Luchadors. We've had luchadors before. Does luchadors count? I don't think they count. They won't in a movie though, so.
You know, if comics want to go in a new, unique direction, they could go the luchador direction. Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, so yeah, I don't know what they're talking about because I am on Wikipedia, which is, we all know, like the bastion of truth, and here in DC Comics alone, I'm going through the list of Hispanic superheroes, and you got
Yeah, yeah.
character Acrata, alias Andrea Rojas, ethnicity Guatemalan, classification hero, first appearance in Superman Volume 2, annual number 12. Then you
Yeah,
have
but they're talking about
Aquagirl.
movie though. Movie though.
Oh, movie.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
not,
Movie. Yeah, I'm
but
sorry.
okay, so they
Uh-huh.
haven't been deprived throughout history. They just ain't got no screen time until now. Well,
Yeah,
I'm
that's it.
sorry.
Yeah.
Screen time is hard to come by these days, okay? So, yeah. So you waited in line, you got your turn, and now you're complaining about it. Good fucking job. See, this is what communism does to people's brains.
It's just what it does.
Yes.
Is this the fallout of
Yes.
it? Isn't that what they call it? The
It's
fallout.
persistent victim syndrome.
Okay.
PVS.
So we got the fallout.
I'm dying. This is a new thing. I'm copywriting this tonight. PVS. I don't remember what it stands for, but I'm copywriting that because it stands for something victim syndrome. What did I call it again?
I don't even know.
I don't
You
even
were
know
ranting
either.
so hard. I was like, I think you said PBS. I said, hold on a second. Did you say a P word? Guys,
I'll make another one.
word?
Perceived victim syndrome. There we go.
There you go. There we go. Hey, I like that. Perceive it. We just need to. Can we trademark that? I think we could. Can we?
But
send it
everyone's
off
a
to the
victim. But
hospital?
everyone's a victim. But they never outright say who they're victimized by.
It's the white man.
The white
I
man.
mean,
The white man.
come
right?
on.
And like,
I mean,
look at, they had to, man. Okay, and so they did a whole lot for women's rights in this movie, right? They had to make the villain a woman, right? They just set women's rights
woman.
and a white woman.
woman.
They just set women's equality and women's rights back like 50 years. What are they doing? Model themselves after the modern military-industrial complex, whereas a woman runs Boeing and Lockheed and runs the CIA. Is that where they're getting their inspiration from? I think so. And I think it goes to show that women can be equally amount as cunts as men can.
Oh, well, there's no doubt about that. But the actual woman who was the villain in this was Susan Sarandon. That's her.
Susan Sarandon, yeah.
Sarandon. That's her real life name. And the last thing I seen of her was something with some anti-Semitism, and then her.
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, and
she was canceled.
And then her actual son said, "Hey, stop showing the footage of my mom's boobs. She has some big boobs."
Well, she was back in, like, she's been around forever. She was in all kinds of stuff. She was in like Bull Durham with Kevin Costner in the 80s. I think she was in like Witches of Eastwick. I think she's been in a ton of stuff. Thelma and Louise.
She was Ellen Louise.
Thelma and Louise, yeah. Remember when they drive off the cliff because they're stupid?
Okay, here, yeah, I'm gonna show the audience this right here. This is what her son was complaining about. Well, you just showing pictures of my mom's boobs. So this was
bro. If you have boobs, they're fair game.
Yeah, this was the footage that was going around. So it was like,
that's it.
Like, guys, don't do that anymore. I was like, man, they're not even out. You know what I'm saying?
Not even that great.
I mean, she got a rack, man. I mean, it's a rack. Can we? Is this not a rack?
Yeah, it's a rack.
It's not quantified as a rack. I mean, it's an old rack. But I mean, I mean, is this okay? I mean, she's got him pushed up really high right there. I'm not sure what this was going on here, but you know what I'm saying. Oh, I like this caption. Susan Sarandon is right to show off her simply wonderful boobs at 70.
I'm sorry, wonderful boobs and 70 should never go in the same sentence.
Oh man, hey, but hey, once you unleash them demons, boy, we know what's gonna happen with them. Okay, I mean, that's all I'm telling you. We know what's gonna happen. So, go ahead.
Oh, never mind. You go ahead.
Okay. All right. So, we're gonna get in the Blue Beetle. All right, we're gonna get in the Blue Beetle. So we've got our protagonist, Jaime. All right, he is
Jamie.
Is it?
No, I'm making fun because like the white people kept calling him Jamie.
Yeah, they did.
It's like, hey, I'm Jaime, and the white people would be like, hey, Jamie.
Is that not? That's part of supremacy, right there.
Yeah.
So that's how we going back to that.
You're not a good white supremacist unless you mispronounce Latin people's names.
That's it. So Jaime Reyes. So his whole background is that he's a smart kid who went to college. The rest of his people didn't go to college, as far as his parents, his sister, or anything. And he's graduated
Didn't he
college,
go to
but
like Ivy League? Didn't he go to some big school
yeah, I
too?
believe so. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
Yeah, and he
yeah.
got a college degree, but yeah, he's oppressed. And, it's only in America where you can go to you can work your way out of the ghetto, be the first person in your family, go to college, get a law degree, yet you're still oppressed. Only in America.
I mean, does that not make sense? Or
No,
is that not fair game?
that's not fair game. If you're going to goddamn college, I don't give a fuck where you are. You're not oppressed. Period. End of the story.
Yeah, but what if you feel like you are, though? What about your feelings?
Well, then you need to get some therapy for your victimization complex.
Okay, all right. Do you think there's therapists out there?
People with a victimization complex have like the epitome of low self-esteem. Like they raise somebody else to be like superior over them so they can claim the victim. It's ridiculous. They're the true racists. They're the true invert supremacists. Really, is what they are.
Got you.
They see the supremacy in this other group.
Yeah, so this is the basis of our story, is that he went to college, but he's an actual loser, okay? Because he didn't do anything with it past that. He just stays and becomes a cleaning boy because he's trying to help the family. This is like a usual trope, right?
This is some stupid trope from that. We used to buy this shit in the 80s when we didn't know better. But these storylines been played out, right?
I mean, it's what I'm going to stick around and help the family. So instead of going and getting a high-paying job, which you went to this Ivy League school or whatever, you figured that be getting that way you can send money back to, what's the name of the city, Palmyra? Yeah, Palmyra City.
And remember, he's a Latinx. He'd probably get funneled to the front of the line to get a job.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Yeah, we do have a little... Oh, well, I don't think we still have that, do we? Do we still have that? God, what do they call it?
Affirmative action?
Yeah, that thing.
It's still in the process of getting phased out, but it still lingers. And they call it other things in other places,
Okay. It's called Hire the Mexican Kid.
I'm sure
they get the meat quota.
I'm sure it's exactly what it is. It's there's no such thing as affirmative action, wink wink. Right?
Yeah, it's called Hire the Mexican Kid because we got to meet this quota.
Right.
And if it's a Mexican woman, it's even better. All right, that's actually what we want.
This is so funny. Like, so in the beginning of the movie, so we see that they're working at this, like they're cleaning stuff, and his sister is a little bit of a rebel, and she wants to go take a dump in like the rich people's bathroom, okay? Which is clearly against the rules. She has her own bathroom she can use, but no, she likes to break the rules. And so she breaks the rules. She gets her brother in trouble. They both get fired, and it's spun as though it's the evil white woman's fault for firing them, as opposed to they flaunted the rules and paid the price. Like, this kind of, again, reinforces a message of you're not responsible for your actions. The only people who are responsible for your actions are the people who fire you, and then it's all their fault and they're the monster. It's fucking ridiculous. This is
but it worked.
Total communism injected into our entertainment.
Yeah, but he stood up for Jenny Cord, okay? He stood up for her.
Okay, so explain this to me. So you got Susan Sarandon is about so white she's transparent, and she's a Cord, and yet the other Cord is Hispanic, Latinx, and like has a Hispanic accent still. They're both Cords. How does that fucking work?
She's olive colored.
You and this damn olive color.
I mean, I had to. Well, the chick's name in real life is Bruna Marquezine.
Right, but in the movie they're both Cords, and they're like is this a multicultural family we got going on here? What's the deal?
It may be, okay. We never actually see the mom or the dad, to verify this. They're allegedly both dead.
So one thing I need to emphasize here is, like, other than the first couple minutes where they show what horrible people that Blue Beetle and his sister are for shitting in the other bathroom, right, and then blaming it on the white woman. So we've got that going on. But besides that, I see another distinct lack of character development, and rushed plot lines. The same kind of plot lines we've seen before, Why is it always the white people who want to make military industrial complex stuff go on, right? It's like, it's always the evil white person at like the DynCorp type corporation or the General Dynamics type corporation who has these big buildings and they got scientific stuff going on and they're always making weapons and super soldiers. Hasn't the super soldier plot been worn out for like 30 fucking years? Haven't we been over that since RoboCop? Soldier. What's up with this, man? Like, what the fuck?
It all goes back to the super soldier.
Yes, and I don't get that.
Like at the end of the day, it's like, I can create an army of super soldiers. It's like, haven't we figured out that this doesn't work?
Bro, we couldn't beat a bunch of towel heads in the middle of the goddamn desert, okay? Like, our military is dog shit, all right? Maybe they come up with this stuff. And it's always private contractors, right? It's never the U.S. government doing this stuff in the movies. It's always some private company who's some fucking government contractor who's got the $1 billion contract. So they got to do evil stuff in order to make the robot that goes on people's backs. And the robot that goes on people's backs just so happens to, like, mimic the somewhat look and effect and functionality of this blue scarab, but they call him Blue Beetle, but they should have called him Blue Scarab because they never say beetle in the damn movie. It's always a scarab. It's a blue scarab that got stuck in his back. It wasn't a blue beetle. It was a blue scarab.
Yeah, but the scarab is a beetle.
I don't want to hear it. They didn't call it the Blue Beetle. They called it the Blue Scarab.
Corey, a scarab is a beetle.
Potato. I don't want to hear it again. No.
I think that's the premise there.
They can't call the thing a scarab and then call him the beetle.
Okay. Well,
I might be splitting hairs here, but this was offensive.
The blue scarab does seem like it would have a little bit more punch. Maybe, yeah. The blue scarab. You're like, oh, okay, scarab, because you think scarab.
Blue beetle sounds more kid-like.
You think the original Mummy movies, which were 10 out of 10s for me, but you think the scarabs...
Even with The Rock as a scorpion animation, that was like one of the worst. That's like in Notorious is one of the worst animations of all time. That was like the Mummy part like 4.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking the first one.
The Rock is like a master of like being in like part 6s of series.
The first Mummy movie I think is a masterpiece.
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one.
Right. Yeah. With was it Emotep?
Yeah.
And that actor has been in a bunch of good stuff.
Yeah, but I think like it had perfect pace and perfect character. But I mean, I just thought it was like spot on.
Back when movies were movies. And what happened to Brendan Fraser? Is he all fat or was that just for one movie?
No, I think he's still fat.
He's still fat in real life. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I had $1 million, I might get fat too.
You think you'd be fat as well?
Maybe.
Okay. If I had $1 million, I'd be fat as well. It's like, well, at that point in time, you probably be able to take care of yourself a little better. But they said, no, I'd probably just rather be fat. That just makes more sense to me. Well, that's anything different. So Corey doesn't like Blue Beetle. He would rather be called Blue Scarab. So we've got that A. All right, mark that on the list, guys. All right.
Here's another thing. Like, besides the fact that this movie reinforced every negative Latino or Latinx stereotype, and I say that facetiously, it really did emphasize like every stupid stereotype. Who was the uncle? What's the uncle's name? That he's the comedian.
Oh, you talking about?
But the guy with like the double
George
mullet.
Lopez.
George Lopez.
Rudy.
George freaking
his name
Lopez.
Was Rudy.
That guy. If it was his job to make Latinx people look ridiculous, then he succeeded. That whole family gave off the vibe of every stereotype you ever heard about every goddamn, like, and I don't even want to say Mexican family because I don't even know if they were Mexican. They were just a generic Latinx, if you notice. Like, they were just generic Latinx.
Well, yeah, I think Palmera City. Where is Palmera?
I think all those cities were fictional. Every city they were in was fictional.
No, okay.
Because he's talking to his sister about getting out of here, and she's like, "But I like it in the Keys." And I'm like, "Are they in Key West?" And so no, they just made all that shit up.
Okay, so it is fictional, but it's based in Texas, so we close to the border. So the Mexican, yeah, we can go Mexican here, and it'd be okay. I think you can do that.
That's a weird one. If I got to a country and I hopped the wall and I hauled ass in there, I wouldn't hang around near the wall. I get as fucking far from that goddamn wall as possible. So I don't know why all these Mexicans stay in Texas.
I've always wondered about this. So you got Mexico, so we call them Mexicans. Puerto Rico, Puerto Ricans, but ain't they technically like Mexicans too? They're kind of the same thing.
They'll kill each other over that, man. Those are fighting words between the two of them.
Okay, that's my bad. All right. We don't.
And none of them like the Dominicans. Okay. The Dominicans are darker skinned. None of them like them.
Okay, so we've got
the originals, like the original Spanish from Spain, are as white as me. They're Aryan. They're like straight up white people who speak Spanish. So
there's white Mexicans. I remember, but this guy, he had some music playing, and I looked over at it. I was like, "Damn, you got some white dude over here singing some Mexican music." It was like, "No, he's Mexican. He's not white." I'm like, "That motherfucker white, man."
Yeah, I think that depending on the region, you get some that are real dark skinned from the Indians that used to live in those lands. Like, I don't even know, like the Incas or what the fuck ever, Aztecs. I don't even know. I'm a dumb white guy. I don't fucking know this shit.
The Mayans.
So, right.
Oh, they got wiped out, didn't they?
So like they got vanished into the other dimension. And so but yeah, because depending on the region, I guess you would have, plus you got to have, there was a lot of interracial stuff going on during all the wars and stuff. So you got a lot of white people genes floating around down there too. You know what I mean?
That is true. So, that is true. Some a little intermingling. So let's talk about a few of the characters here. So Jaime as Blue Beetle, how'd you feel about his particular character and how he
was never tough. He was like a wuss the whole time. And there's another trope we got to talk about in this damn movie. And it pertains to him because they always do this. They always bring up the superhero self-confidence issue that needs to be resolved, and like the suit don't work. How many times have we seen this in the past? How many times have we seen, like with Spider-Man? Remember Spider-Man? He couldn't shoot the web stuff because his confidence, right? Like, or some stupid shit back with Tobey Maguire, right? So we've seen this trope of, I don't have my confidence, I don't have my powers, right? Ridiculous, right? And that's directly tied to the character of Jaime, who never has any goddamn self-confidence in this whole fucking thing. Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. Like he's
like a scared little bitch the whole time.
When you said beta male, like that's what the whole time I'm like, dude. I said, man, this dude is a pansy, man. I mean, like straight up. One of the things that I was not a fan of in this particular film is the fact that he had such a moral compass about not killing folks, yet his people were killing the dog shit out of folk. I mean, Nana literally mowed down like 10 folk with that damn machine gun she had. I was like, can we talk about this? I mean, he don't want to kill nobody, and all his folk killing the hell out of folk.
And so one character we need to talk about is the sidekick to the altered sidekick to Susan Sarandon. I didn't like this here. There was some exploitation.
You talking about the let me see what
the guy who becomes the red robot thing.
Yeah, Carapax.
Okay, so this kind of disturbed me because I thought there was some racial exploitation going on with this particular role. So you got the evil white lady who's got the Mexican half robot. I don't want to call him a sidekick, but henchman. I'll call him henchman, right? And so I knew right from the jump that there was going to be some bond formed between Blue Beetle and the henchman because they were both Latinx, right? I don't think both of them were Mexican, so I think it's a proper application of the term Latinx there. So therefore, I didn't really like that because that scene did come towards the end where they have their bonding moment, right? Over the fucking teaming up against the evil white lady, right? And so
this after you put a blade in my man's gut.
Right. So I fucking hate these woke movies because they're so exploitative and they don't even see what they're doing. They're such fucking idiots. They miss the fucking point. And this whole movie was it really upset me because I felt that it made Latinx people look stupid and ridiculous, and always oppressed, despite the fact the guy got a goddamn college degree. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the level
Mm-hmm.
of everything about it just is like nauseating. And I hope that this is like the end wave of a run for DC and all these Marvel fucks, and making this type of woke fucking vomit trash.
Right. Like that. So yeah, the main thing with our protagonist, which is Jaime, is the fact that he feels like he has no backbone at all, like none, like absolutely zero. Like he and as you said, like I'm tired of the like, oh, I'm just scared to death of the suit. Oh, what's happening? Oh my god! I mean, I don't need a whole 30 to 40 minutes of the movie for him to be, trying to fight against the suit, which is literally like injected itself into his spine. Like this is
And
it, dog.
this is something I just realized. This is another possible like allegory or analogy here that they could have capitalized on, but it seemed like they didn't. Okay, so this thing could have been an analogous for him gaining a spine, for gaining courage, for gaining, and
Mm,
they didn't go that way. He stayed a pussy the whole time with the suit on, right? So like this could have been symbolic of him not having a backbone and getting a backbone, because the damn thing
mm,
went right down his back, right? Like, so it
yeah.
could have
Mm-hmm.
perfectly been, that could have been symbolic of getting of learning to stand up for yourself, symbolic of being your own person.
Mm,
It could have been symbolic of like standing up against your oppressor, right? It could even have been that, but they blew that. They dropped the ball on that. Like, unfucking believable, really.
yeah, and where they really messed up is that a lot of times early on, whenever you get a suit like this or whatever, you kind of need to have a moment where you kind of take out some like local bad guys, some local thugs. You know what I'm saying? That's usually your first interaction with it, as opposed to your first interaction being like the what's going to end up being the big bad, the one who has a suit similar to yours later on, and that's your first clash. Um, as far as the fight goes, so I thought they could have used that opportunity as opposed to him flying to space and dropping back down and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Which I guess that was supposed to be a funny moment. But was anything funny in this movie? Did you
No,
chuckle?
no, because
Something was supposed to be.
you
I
could,
think they were supposed to have comic relief.
they tried too hard, and all the things that they tried to make funny were racial stereotypes that they're trying to fight against. Like, I'm just like, are you what? Like,
Hey,
I
at the end of the day, we come back to racial stereotypes.
at
That's
the
just
end of
all
the
there
day,
is
it
to
comes
it.
back to racial stereotypes. Like, that was everything in this movie. This whole movie was about Hispanic people need to be lifted up. And despite the fact that he got a law degree, I don't have a fucking law degree. Do you got a law degree?
No, not
No,
even
it
there.
sounds
Not
like
even.
he's got a leg up on both of us. So
Yeah. Not even in the vicinity. Far from it. Far from it. But yeah. Okay. So Jaime. So this is his journey. As you said, they could have explained it more as far as him having a spine and things of that nature. They see it more as him trying to help his family, and of course, we have the dynamic that actually gets him into this particular suit, which is Jenny Cord, okay, who is the daughter of Ted Cord, who originally owned the company. All right, and she is strictly against. God, what's Susan's name in this thing? I got to go back and look at it.
she was a court
Victoria,
also.
yeah, Victoria Cord, which is her
Evil stepmom.
aunt, which is our
Oh, is
aunt.
that the aunt? I thought it was the
Yeah,
stepmom. Oh,
yeah, I think
she was the
no,
sister of the
yeah,
fucking. Okay.
yeah. So I think technically she's the aunt, but Jenny wanted to move the company into a different direction where they weren't making weapons anymore. But of course, you got to have somebody, some family member who's like, "Oh yeah, I need supreme power," and la di da di da. Okay, so Jenny Cord is the supposed to be the good gal, the good gal. All right, and what do you think about Jenny Cord's character? How'd you feel about her? She was just kind of there for eye candy for the most part, and
I
just to
thought
move
so
the plot
too.
along.
Her acting skills weren't there. She came off as a spoiled princess. Um, I really didn't like her at all. She initially condescends to our boy here, And then she offers him a job, and then he shows up, and she's like, I ain't got time to talk to you. Like, and then this is the weird thing. The most important thing in the world, this weapon that can destroy everything. And she's like, here, I need you to guard this with your life. But don't give me any contact information in case I need to come and get it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's somewhere. I don't know where it is. Somebody just took it.
So she just hands it off to this dude she just met.
And I'm not even sure if he's trustworthy.
Right.
This dude may have an evil heart. You know
he just
what I'm
got
saying?
fired with the girl shitting in the wrong bathroom. So, I mean, I don't know how she thinks she can trust this guy, right? So, this is wild.
Yeah, obviously he's rebellious, obviously.
And so then, so he gets the thing from her, right? She gives it to him. She hands it off because she doesn't want it to get busted by the fucking evil core people. And so, then he gets it home, and his nosy Mexican family busts open the goddamn box, right? And then it does its thing and attaches to his back and turns him into the Blue Beetle. All because his family couldn't mind their own business. You know,
right.
Is this a Mexican stereotype? I don't know about that one.
I think it may be. You know what I'm saying?
Mexican families can't mind their own business. Okay, I gotcha. Now, how
do you feel about the way they explain, but not really explain, that that the scarab just decides to pick somebody?
Yeah, we've heard this trope before. What fucking other trope have we gotten with this? What other one is like this? The Ring, the Green Lantern ring picks you. What else is
Thor's
there?
hammer.
Thor's hammer. Yeah, you got to be worthy.
Is it something with
There's got to be another one. Shazam.
Yep, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. So, no, what this reminds me of? This reminds me of those video game studios that get in trouble because they buy a bunch of assets and they just like throw them together and like don't even change them and put it out as a game. And then people are like, hey, that building was in this other game, right? Like, that's what these movies are. They just throwing assets together. That's it. That's all these goddamn movies are.
Oh, Aquaman's Trident. Remember in the first movie, he had to go and he had to be deemed worthy of taking the Trident. Otherwise,
isn't there an Aquaman 2 coming or something? Or is it so bad they're scuttling it? Or what's the deal with that?
No, that's in a couple weeks. I'm going to actually go to the theater and watch it. Actually,
so, like we touched on last week, like everyone's saying that like Godzilla -1 is like best movie of all time.
Yeah, I know.
They're saying it's got like drama, it's got real storyline. It's like, leave it to the Japanese.
I tried to tell my buddy about, what was it? I think the original Godzilla. Well, not the original, but the one that came out. I think it's probably about 6 or 7 years ago. Which leads into, the Godzilla versus Kong and all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, it was okay, but the storyline was a little lacking. He said, storyline with Godzilla? I said, I just need to touch of some. Damn, Bo, he just out here, folks just getting smothered out here, and I didn't give a shit about nobody. I was like, smother them all, hell. It's like, it don't make no difference to me. So, I mean, at least maybe be like, dang, Bo, I didn't want him to go. I didn't want her to go. Shit, so it's just like, I don't know. But, yeah, I've heard some good things about the Godzilla -1 as well. So, Jenny Cord. So, trustworthy of Jaime, even though she doesn't know Jaime. And, of course, in this movie, we have the actual, which I think they say this in real life as well. When you're in dangerous situations, if you're a man and woman, all of a sudden you're attracted to one another.
Survival mechanism, sure. I can see that. Mm-hmm. Plus, then you got some trauma bond stuff going on and all that stuff. So yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so now you want to bone them, even though start off with she wasn't interested.
Totally.
But now that we've almost got killed, yeah, I'd like to do it now.
Yeah.
Is that what it takes? Is that how you get something?
I don't know, but it sounds like I could set up a real good scheme like that.
This has some traumatic episode.
Set up some fake trauma shit. I rescue this chick, and next thing you know, I'm getting all these girls.
I think that's how it works. That's what the movie's telling me anyway. Movies are telling me, hey man, set you up some trauma, okay? Have a chick around, and it'll work. You'll bond, all right? So that don't mean you'll stay together, but you'll at least bond. So, so that's what we got. So we've got the the scarab. We weren't given a whole lot of information about the scarab itself. We know it's alien technology. Don't know exactly where from. We know that Jenny Cord's dad had the scarab. He couldn't actually use it. It didn't choose him, but it did choose his friend, which was a professor. And Ted Cord is believed to be dead, but we do find out that Ted Cord was the Blue Beetle, but he didn't have the scarab. He just acted like Batman. Like, so we seen his suits and stuff down there in the dungeon. It's almost like the Batman dungeon. So is this going back to the? Was there a TV show Blue Beetle? Isn't that right? Am I right?
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm thinking the Tick. That's what I'm thinking.
The Tick, yeah.
I'm thinking the Tick. Okay, I'm thinking the Tick. That's what I'm thinking. So Ted Cord's got all these inventions. Obviously, he was studying the scarab and everything, and he had actually hid it from Victoria after his friend had died. But it didn't really give us any information on if the friend actually used the powers of the actual Blue Beetle when he was alive. So that kind of left a little bit of a gray area there as far as that goes.
Yeah, so I pulled up some just miscellaneous trivia on Blue Beetle. So Blue Beetle, first appearance, Infinite Crisis number 3, February 2006. Pretty interesting.
Okay. So wait, in 2006?
Yeah, February 2006. And Jaime Reyes is the third character to assume the mantle of Blue Beetle, but is substantially different from his predecessors. Introduced in 1939, the original Blue Beetle, Dan Garrett, was a Fox Comics police officer who fought crime with superpowers gained by ingesting vitamin 2X. A revamped version of this character, archaeologist Dan Garrett, introduced in 1964 by Charlton Comics, drew mystical abilities from an ancient Egyptian scarab. Published by Charlton Comics and later DC, 1966 creation Ted Cord was Garrett's student who continued his legacy of costumed crime fighting, although he had no superpowers. DC,
okay,
yeah.
So that's what we've seen in this movie, yeah.
DC's introduction of Jaime Reyes in 2006 retconned and expanded upon Blue Beetle mythos. Revealed to be alien in origin, the Scarab bonds with Reyes and provides him with a suit of extraterrestrial armor shortly after Cord's death. Though only a teenager, Reyes quickly forms a working relationship with Cord's former teammate and best friend Booster Gold and is inducted into the Teen Titans and Justice League.
Booster Gold?
Yeah.
Why does that sound familiar? I think they're making a TV show on Booster Gold.
Booster Gold looks like he's from Fantastic Four or something. He's got a golden yet blue suit with a star on his chest.
Okay.
Yeah, I never heard of him before.
So obviously the powers of the costume, it has healing abilities, heals the user. You've got flight, and then you can create any weapon that you can think of, pretty much. And it's also like AI, so you have a symbiotic relationship per se. So, how do you feel about the suit and the way it initially, kind of took over actions for Jaime, and then how the suit ended up kind of bonding with him at the end to tell Jaime when he was actually about to kill Carapax to, not do that? How'd you feel like that dynamic with? Because, at the beginning, it's like, eliminate the threat. You know what I'm saying? I knocked the threat down. Now I'll eliminate the threat. Then when it got to it, do you feel like the suit was kind of adjusting to who Jaime is?
Honestly, I don't think they put like any effort into emphasizing that at all. Because I really didn't pick up too much on that. And therefore, I feel like it's a failure on their part to emphasize it.
Yeah, I think seeing how this is a symbiotic relationship, I think there probably should have been a little bit more dialogue in between Jaime and the actual suit itself. Because the suit, like he couldn't summon it. It just popped up on him when he was put in danger. That was it. Like he had no idea how to use it.
Right. And the suit could take over if he gave it permission. and
Yeah,
control his body.
yeah, yeah. So I think that was a missed opportunity there to actually, because he never actually. They try to make it seem like he bonded with it at the end, but like that was never really part of the story.
Right.
His family was more part of the story. Him and his budding love with Jenny Cord was part of the story. Carapax and the fact that Victoria Cord killed all his family with the cord weapons and then scooped him up and turned him into a savage. You know what I'm saying? So all that was more part of the story as opposed to focusing on the actual relationship and how that would build between the suit and him. So that's what I was talking about. Like, we miss some of those moments where it's like he's trying to figure out how to use this thing. It's like,
Right.
all right, it's a part of me now. Let me try to figure out how to use this thing. It's just like, well, how'd you summon it before? It's like, I don't know. It just pops up on when I'm in trouble. So he just jumps off the side of a building and it pops up and he starts flying. I'm like, okay, so it's not. It's like it seems shallow. Can we say that?
Oh yes.
And I feel like maybe. Do you feel like maybe they had? Which I guess you had to have this moment where if one of the family members died. The father died, and then that's what kind of fuels. Well, we need to go get Victoria Cord. How did you feel about that particular moment in the movie?
Like, so he. All right. So the moment was when he realizes that his father dies. He's in this stupid machine, and it's got his hands like up in the thing, and it's sucking the juice out of him, which they didn't clarify, and it's giving the juice to the red guy, who he'll later bond with.
Well, it's downloading the software because I guess you could just download.
Oh yeah, sure. What operating system is that fucking
So,
Scarab running on? So, and so he's dying. It's like they're killing him, right? And as he's on the verge of death, that's where he sees his dad, and his dad's like, "You got to go back." And so that's when he goes back and funnels the power of the fucking beetle and blah 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 blah. I thought it was, your typical
run of the mill.
Didn't make any sense, but they didn't really make any attempts to explain it. He met him in the afterlife. Like, what the fuck? Like, at this point, I'm just like, I tuned out like 20 minutes before that. So,
all right. And how did you feel about the use of Carapax at the end? And did you feel like his villainous character, like they almost tried to give him an arc? You know what I'm saying? Which I didn't really need one of him. Like, if Blue Beetle would have killed him, that'd be fine. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what we need more of.
killing.
Like, yeah, like the
and
superheroes, like they, yeah, we missed out on that.
We need more cleavage. We need we need to go back to the days where the chick superheroes, remember the covers of the old Conan novels with the women with the big muscles and the big tits, and they're wearing like fur bracers and like, what I'm talking about? Like, that's what we need in some goddamn. You want to revive Hollywood? Bring back the early 80s, okay? Bring back slasher films where they show tits just because, right? Like, like, go back to the 80s where there's like naked women walking around for no reason. Guys will go see that. Guys will go see that. Okay?
Right.
Go back to the basics. Blood, violence, titties, and simple storylines that can be easily digested, and you're good to go.
Yeah, so they tried to make you feel sorry for Carapax, even though he said, Blue Beetle, told Jaime, you don't deserve this power. He done stabbed him in the gut. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, at the end, it's like, oh, we'll feel sorry for him because his mama got killed and Victoria Cord was experimenting on him, and now he's redeemed. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, he got redeemed in like 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He was like 5 minutes ago. He was just about to try to kill Jaime.
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes later, he's redeemed. I'm like,
hey, it's
just a little bit too quick.
It's that bond of Latinx, man. That's powerful stuff.
Corey. Man said the Bond of Latinx. Oh my goodness. I guess you could say that. I guess you could say that. He said, and through their bond, you know what I'm saying? Jaime redeemed Carapax. Even though Carapax and went through there and killed all kind of folk. I mean, Carapax done slaughtered some folk. But you know, it's all good. I mean, it's all good now because he's redeemed. Because he took and drug Victoria Cord into the flames and killed himself while he was at it. Why is it always? Why you always end up killing yourself too?
Because they got it because they're ashamed of what they become and they don't know how to face their former life.
Oh yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
that is right.
So it sends a message. It's easier to be a cop out than to fight. Than to fight for what you want.
Think about that.
I'm sorry. So, these movies just send the worst fucking messages ever. Like, really? Like, goddamn these movies.
So, so my number one pet peeve, as I said earlier in this movie, is the fact that Jaime has almost too much of a conscience. And he's
a pussy, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So, like, this whole time, like, he just knocks everybody out. You know, Nana's gunning folks down. His sister's gunning folks down. Rudy's stepping on people with the ship.
And we never talked about the ships.
He impaled him.
We never talked about these Beetle ships that came out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, that was down there in the Bat Cave, or no, that'd be the Beetle Cave.
Mm-hmm. The Beetle Cave.
I call it that? Can I call it that? The Beetle Cave.
And then all of a sudden, these two Mexicans just know how to fly it, and they're shooting shit. This is like had some Independence Day vibes.
Well, he was a former pilot,
so of course you can fly a spaceship.
Yeah. Hey, he also had the machinery on the back of his truck that he called Taco.
So following this lore back to where the previous guy didn't have any powers, but he did the Blue Beetle stuff. He obviously had some tech to make this stupid Blue Beetle spaceship. So how the fuck they always got these guys in the 40s who got like futuristic technology? How is this like Tony Stark? How they got these guys who got futuristic stuff in like the 1930s? But no, the rest of the world doesn't know about it, but Tony Stark's got it. Like how they got what? Explain this to me.
They're extremely smart.
Hey, it's as good as we're ever going to get.
Is that it?
I'll roll with it.
They're rich and smart. There it is. You have to. You can't just be smart. You have to be rich too.
Okay, so every single one of these damn superheroes who has a spaceship that uses any type of anti-gravity, that anti-gravity also runs free energy, and therefore every superhero could replace all the world's energy sources with free energy. But do they do it? No. They just keep it for themselves in their damn spaceships. Superheroes are selfish assholes.
Man said it, like, there it is. It's like, guys, that can sum up superheroes. A bunch of selfish assholes.
They keep the free energy for themselves and build their spaceships, and the rest of us squander here with coal and stupid nuclear and stuff.
Yeah, this is true. So yeah, this movie ends. Jaime looks like he's going to strike up a relationship with Jenny Cord. Of course, at that point in time, we have this is like the first time that we have the suit like talking to him. It's like, hey, you got a sudden rush of blood going to your midsection. I'm like, I mean, y'all. So you saying the man's got a boner? Is that what you're telling me? It said the man's got a boner. So it looks like they're gonna strike up a relationship. Jenny Cord buys the parents a new house. So that's saved. The house got burned down, so they're gonna have a new crib to stay at, and everything's happily ever after. All right, and then we get the post-credit scene, which I don't know why we have one. To be honest, because I didn't think this was gonna be part of the DC universe, but I guess they just left it in there anyway. But that's like, hey, Jenny, Ted Cord is not dead. Which, so, That's what I was kind of like. Like when it came up, I was like, and I didn't. I was supposed to feel some way about that. Oh man, Ted Kord's not dead. I'm just like, I didn't feel no type of way about it. I mean, like at all. I mean, I understand that, you know, he was going through and researching the scarab, and his buddy had been taken over by the scarab, and he had picked up the mantle and all that. But like, that's not. I don't think that jumps out as a post-credit scene where somebody's like, "Oh man, I can't wait to see the next movie." You know what I'm saying? Usually, the post-credit scene is like, "Man, I can't wait to see the next movie." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that didn't quite hit the mark of like, "Oh man, this post-credit scene, man, I can't wait. Ted Kord's coming back." You know what I'm saying? It's just like it didn't give you nothing else. So, what would you think about that? Did you feel the same way?
No, I didn't even watch the damn post-credit scene.
But you always fast forward something to see if there's a post-credit scene. This is what I'm talking about, guys. All right, doggone it. Look, drum roll. What's your cubes?
No, I didn't know.
How many cubes, man?
4.
It's 3. Still go 3.5.
That sounds about right.
Missed opportunities.
I hate that they just reinforced racial stereotypes. They just reinforced racial stereotypes. That's the whole point of this movie. It felt dirty and racist.
Yeah, too much of the family involved, like way too much, like entirely too much. Not enough interaction.
Well, no, that was intentional because it was they're Mexican.
Man, I know, man, but I was like, man, move away from this. You know what I'm saying? I need more interaction with Jaime and the suit. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, this, like I said, like there's nothing at the end of this is like, oh man, another big bad's on the way. You know what I'm saying? I guess they can take and throw Jaime in another movie, but damn, I don't even know what DC's going to be looking like in the next year. Are we supposed to be getting the Superman movie next year? No, it's not. It's 2 years away. Man, DC
ain't far enough away.
James, I think it should be further away than that. Like never. Man, it should be so far away that it never.
Look, we over superheroes. We know that there ain't nobody coming to get us and save us. Like there once upon a time, we loved superheroes because we felt like as a society we needed hope. We needed someone to come in and save us. We don't need that anymore. Okay, fuck that. Get rid of these stupid superheroes. They ain't saving goddamn nobody. They come in, they demonstrate their superiority to everybody in a day we're supposed to all be equal. Like, fuck right off. Like, these people don't understand the fucking bullshit mixed messaging they send.
Yeah, fucking and then they tear up all the buildings. Idiots. They tear up all the buildings in the area.
Fucking dude, I'm so over this destruction of our infrastructure, man. Like, the superheroes are why we don't have roads and bridges.
Don't rebuild nothing to nothing. They just go to the house. After we get in tearing everything
between
up,
superheroes and Transformers, I'm surprised we got any buildings left at all.
Oh, damn, boy. The Transformers. Hot damn, boy. Bo, ain't nobody going to work for a while, cuz. I mean, you had a job. Okay? You had a job in that piece. Unless you're doing construction. All right, the cleanup crew, you are out of a job. All right? Because they have destroyed every bit. I don't know how many countless innocent lives got taken during those Transformer movies. Nobody talks about that. The innocent lives that got taken because they blowing up buildings. Somebody had to be in there. Oh, it just happened to be a bunch of empty buildings in the middle of New York. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that's how that works. So that's Blue Beetle, guys. Is it worth a watch? Corey's shaking his head no. If you've got Max and you've happened to have went through everything else, I guess you could just tune in.
All right, so this is how I'll classify this. Every night before I go to bed, I can't fall asleep to like darkness. Like, I got to have something going on in the background, right? So
Right. So
I will try to find a movie that's good enough to capture my attention just long enough to fall asleep. So this could be one of those movies that you put on knowing you're going to fall asleep in 20 minutes. And it might actually get you there. So, yes, this could be one of those movies. So you can't put on a movie that's too good because then you stay up all night watching it. It's got to be just good enough to where you don't mind falling asleep halfway.
This is true. This is true. I usually just put on HGTV, but that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, HGTV. Yeah. So there's some pretty good stuff up there.
Some like fixer-up house stuff.
Yeah. Nobody ever talks about, how they be fucking people over on that shit. It's kind of like Pimp My Ride. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's kind of the same premise. It's like, yeah, you pimp my ride, but my motor's still blown up. It's like, hey man, you got a bubble machine in the back, so fuck it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the back of this car blows bubbles. So I mean, what we talking about? So that's Blue Beetle, guys. Check it out if you want to. It's not a must watch because we have no idea what DC's going to turn into or if it will actually ever exist ever again. I did see something on Netflix trying to get a hold of the Snyderverse. I don't know how the fuck they're going to do that. And Snyder continuing to make movies, DC movies. I don't know how that's going to work, but I did hear some rumblings about that. Like he wants to continue to do that. So we'll see. So we've got Aquaman coming out. We're going to check out the Continental for you guys. We've also got, if I'm correct, when's Rebel Moon come out? I think that is Snyder.
December something, 15th.
Which is part 1. Rebel Moon part 1.
Something comes out on the 15th. I forget, but something I saw comes out on the 15th was exciting. Let
me see something here. And which is Zack Snyder. It's going to be 2 hours and 13 minutes. So, not, let's see, when is this coming out? Is this going to tell me? Is this going to screw me? Let's see. Oh, December 22nd. Oh, so that's coming out same day as the Aquaman. But it'll be on Netflix. So we'll see what we got there. That was supposed to be a Star Wars film. And they scrapped.
They even got some kind of like lightsaber looking thing in it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we'll see what we got there. All right, we'll check all that out for you guys. So from your boy HQ420, the powerful one, the co-host Corey Hughes. We'll catch y'all on the next Showtime with the Q. Peace out.